North America has sent two very different teams. You've got, I mean, as Jackie said it on the decks, the guard against the old guard, the youth and rookies against that veteran experience. It is literally our youngest average team, the guard, against the oldest average team in the tournament, Optic. So you could not get two more different sides of the same coin.
We might see a fast tempo straight off the rip in this round. That aggression just pushed off about a moment there by the dart being sent through. Now the drone gets broken pretty early here, so Optic just holding with his defensive setup and all the players leaning over here.
This is a really classic protocol by FNS. He's going to put down that wall early on, not trying to use it, you know, exactly as the guard get in there, but just to kind of push them back a little bit. Make sure that that right-hand side is more difficult to access. And of course, as the desk said, no Sage in the guards comp. One of the few teams that have actually gone for Viper Omen.
I think they're just waiting for the Viper wall to go down, but the timing starts to get hit. Paranoia cuts across the side, but Saya player, he ends up going down. Victor with two FNS as well. The crossfire is immaculate. And just like that, the guard are just going to crumble in that pistol round.
It barely had an opening whatsoever. As Saya player got really deep, but FNS gobbled him up. No opportunity for the entry player from the guard there. And Victor hit some spicy shots too. This is the opener. The Saya player getting caught by that, and FNS with all the freedom to be able to swing back around. These shots, oh, lovely from Victor.
Tasty.
And it is so important for them to be putting emphasis on neutralizing Saya player. And whether that comes in the form of killing him outright, or just separating him from the support of the rest of his team, like they did there, as the rest of the guard not able to push past that Sage wall. Saya goes crazy on Icebox. It's the biggest reason why the guard are good here, in my opinion, is because it's his home map. You think of certain Jets, Shazam, Durka, for example, and Saya player too. They all need to be mentioned when you talk about Icebox. He is just at home here.
He really is. So many incredible moments that have come out from him. In this round, though, I mean, the weaponry isn't good. Obviously, it's an eco being taken by the guard. Valorant did create a lovely opening for them, but Ye still locking down the backside of Yellow. What a headshot. Oh my goodness. This guy is just unleashed. And if Ye is online, the troubling scenario, I think, for the guard to try and deal with.
But Bren, when is Ye not online?
It's true.
He is just a consistent demon. El Diablo. And he gets the ace in the round. What a statement round to begin here. Round two, that one is the Ye round. And I'm sure he'll be giving you way more of those. 5-0 at the moment, building up towards the tour de force.
It's very important.
Insanely important. They're on the defense to start out with, and they're going to have an operator that can spawn slow fills. What's so impressive, though, is the skill of these shots. He's holding such a tight angle there, catches onto Trent. And the one that you didn't see as well, just around a corner. This guy's brutally good, and he's been playing better at Masters Reykjavik than he has been doing online in 2022. And if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what would.
That is an incredibly scary prospect, I think. Any team's going to be looking at that quite worried. But now we're entering that bye round here for the guards. The previous one was just a bit of a teaser.
And Ye feels comfortable buying an operator on their bonus round, because even if he loses it this time, he has the tour de force for the next, or at least he's assuming he will.
Yeah.
Ye's probably good for a couple of ult orbs, right?
And Optic, if you notice towards B main, they actually do have this deep Sage wall that's been placed super early.
That's becoming incredibly meta recently. I've seen so many of the teams on Icebox running this exact wall in the post-patch.
Look, you can't even wait for it to expire. The guards just have to hard clear these corners now as they're pushing forwards, worried about it. FNS is alone. It's going to be up to him to try and hold it down, and look at that. The snakebite to set up the vulnerability is good for the pick onto Saya player, but now the site starting control going their way, but Ye, he might just try and shut it down instantly. Two picks from the back on Snowman, make it three. The guy is just, oh, I mean, he's scary, man.
He's unstoppable. He is currently unstoppable. Ye 8-0, and he's just won them the last two rounds. I love, though, the little play as Marv throws out the snakebite to set up FNS. That's what I'm talking about, neutralizing Saya player early on. And then that just sets Ye up for so much more space. Remember, Optic are not running any duelists here. It's not like they can really fight back at the same tempo that Saya player can play at. But if you manage to take him out early in these rounds, Ye is going to harvest.
And do you really need to try and match that tempo when you have bought the round 3 operator? And Ye is just holding down these angles because, I mean,
really.
He's so consistent at just getting value out of holding that one angle.
Net's going to creep up Tube here. He's the man that could make a play happen. Victor holding the flash.
Off of what?
Off the trademark that was in Kitchen, Brent. And Victor swings, grabs the headshot too. There's a paranoia, and FNS knows that there's players around here that he could go for. A little messy, but still gets the job done, and it's going to set up for the rest of the team, flushing out Kitchen.
Sort of flash. Could have potentially got dangerous, but not any longer.
Yeah, they neutralize that threat pretty well.
Trent, not too much you can do there. We've only the Sheriff in hand, but now looking forwards, the guard. Not an ideal start for them. 4 rounds down, Optic in the series.
All the way to the final round.
You would, usually, at least historically over the course of it, you would favor the team that ended up losing. They are the ones who know what mistakes that they need to correct, and that's Optic in this scenario. You can see them coming out swinging, and they've actually handed off this operator to Marv for Ye to use the tour de force in this round.
So a double op setup for Optic. Marv, very rare that you'll see him on the operator, but
he's holding down B long.
So much cash to work with.
And just a quick exchange of the weapons, and FNS going for the jiggle peek, realizes he's not going to be pressured too hard. So this round is obviously the wall, very important for them as well to get that information.
Saya player took a ton of early damage in the round. Look at him, he's on 35 health with no Sage to be able to heal him back up at all. Saya has been getting destroyed early, and I have no idea what did the damage to him there. Did he get wallbanged in mid or shot darted or something? I don't know. But this is their entry player now with an op on low HP. How does the guard make space?
Queuing up the dart! Okay, Saya player holds it. Just the angle perfectly. Marv wants to obviously peek into that one, but did not come up good for it. The Viper's Pit dropped down. I think Optic are looking to see if they could just disrupt that kind of momentum when they were pouring out into the site. For now, Net just holding it. Danger. A dangerous situation, had to just use the rendezvous to get out of there. Tagged up, but that's right behind the yellow box, and Ye's not finding too much with the tour de force in hand. Ooh, as I say that! What is this?
My word! What is this from Ye? Absolutely absurd stuff, and Jonah P still turns it around. That was back and forth and all over the place, but what a way for guard to put one on the board.
Ye just turning me back before puberty, Josh. I mean, my voice just went up to I don't even believe that.
Ye has some of the most astounding chamber moments you'll ever see. But this was actually a Red Bull clutch here towards the end for Jonah P. And the guard were in control the entire time. What a lovely little play. Gorgeous off angle for Jonah. But that nice at the end there, that's a nice of, oh, we got away with that one.
Got away with that one, but also around the board. And sometimes that's what you need to stop the barreling momentum that Optic were accruing.
And of course, this guard team, very young, very inexperienced. This is their first time playing on a big stage like this. Now, they've been to some of the tinier lands around North America, but not really as a full team either. So this is really new. The pressure, the nerves, all of this experience. Something they haven't dealt with before, and it might take them a little time just to sink into the game, get into the flow state.
People were talking, speculating maybe it was a bit of a double-edged sword, the guard getting that #1 seed.
In fact, they said that to us as well.
They did. Yeah, they mentioned it. A lack of experience, but a drone tag. Trent's going to be using Hunter's Fury to see if he can get a pick off, but only the one shot onto FNS. He's going to be able to heal himself up.
Look how it's pulled the rotates, though. For a moment there, Victor and Ye were both going towards B, and they had 4 players over in that side of the map. They've read it, though, and Ye's back in position, looking to post up with his operator in a very deep angle, considering he was all the way towards Kitchen mere moments ago.
Just misses the shot, man. Giving Valorant a haircut, I think, and this is 30 seconds left in the round. Time is running short, yet the guard are the ones who want to just be taking this towards B, but it's kind of been read ahead. Optic have got so many players set up there. They're looking like they might want to try and pivot into a different section. Can they even get this pick off? Crashies just holds it, but taken out in Kitchen, straight up on top of the tube. There's only 12 seconds remaining. Marved, the solo player, the spike's been dropped, 9 seconds left. They need to try and find him if they want any chance of winning this round.
It's chaos. 4 seconds. They can't get the spike down. There's no time.
Can they find him?
What? The peak!
Why would you try and peek that? You just have to play time in SI. You just have to survive to win the round out.
Let me shoot him some bail. Marv hears the footsteps as Saya player stomps towards him like an elephant, and he knows that if he finds the right timing, he can cut Saya player off rather than trying to take the angle and just hold it himself. So there is a calculated decision there from Marv, where he decides to swing into a player that is, I mean, running with an operator, but Saya hits the quick scope.
Yeah, I mean, a bit ridiculous.
That was an astoundingly unusual round.
Apologies to the viewers at home, but it's the second time I've blown out your eardrums. I'll work on that.
It's this kind of match already, isn't it?
We'll fix it in post.
But the ending of that round was chaos for the Guard. They were scattered around the map. Here they go down mid again, not really clearing tube. Saya with another quick scope.
Victor playing that alone though, just trying to disrupt, thinking that maybe there was only a solo player, but that's taken advantage of here. As you can see, the Guard are just working their way in, but no one is covering the kitchen angle. Still, wonderful trade for them, but Optic with a precise crossfire setup, punishing the players who are just trying to funnel in through that mid area. And FNS coming up with some big kills.
The overall game plan, though, from the Guard feels a little rushed. They are literally running around the map, and it doesn't have the same distraction to it of some of their fast-paced rounds, and it also doesn't have the same utility to be able to create space for them to be able to push into. Seems a bit scattered right now from this young team. And these are the moments where you really need Val in the IGL to cool the heads over in the Guard. But he himself, of course, a very young player. That's got the pressure on his shoulders currently.
See a bit of a play occurring. Jonah B just TPs into his mid-smoke.
That's a nice one. Pretty unusual. You're not used to that on Icebox.
And, I mean, Victor clearly caught unaware of that one, and he's handed the weapon over to Jonah P again. With Saya player knives in hand, normally a round that it wouldn't be paying close attention to, but some danger of this being turned away from Optic. That drone, ooh, side player trying to catch the timing as well. Trying to avoid it, see if he can get a cheeky shot onto any players, but they don't actually have the information yet that this A side is relatively open.
And FNS pushes forwards. They're with Crashies to be able to get the res off on Victor. It's 5v5 now. They've sacrificed the plant. The Guard should be able to get it down, unless Crashies has something to say about it.
Oh, I mean, 50 seconds to the round just to disrupt this with a Hunter's Fury. That is a magnificent shot. Takes out one of the players, and Optic just going to be flooding into the back of it, making sure that there's no possibility of this Thrifty coming online. Trying only with a classic in hand.
And it's a 6-2.
Disrespect.
I mean, Optic were doing it to Xerxia. I think they like it. It fires them up, right? They're one of those players that really thrives in that.
And Ye has been unbelievable at shutting all of this down. Currently sitting at 15 and 3.
Just a casual 5 KD. Just a KD of 5.
Round 9. Round 9.
Not too bad at all. Gonna have the operator this time posted up towards B with a rendezvous to escape into a high ground position. Playing alongside Marv. And this is another stompy kind of push from the Guard. Mid to B, this time with a recon dart into kitchen, so they know it's clear.
They're pushing it forwards, that's okay. Yeah, forced to use the rendezvous just to keep back. Marv has to watch his back there, the spray. Valen couldn't quite get 2. Trade ends up coming through. Side player working his way around, tries to reset the aim of a quick tippity tap with the gun. And now it's up to Jonah P in mid to see if he can do any sort of damage, just taking the duel. Nice play, almost comboed up, I believe, by Victor, just checking the flash down that tube, and now using the TP just to get out of there. Repositioning back over towards yellow. Trent's also found his mark in the form of FNS, but they need to regain the spike.
Chaos, the name of the game here for the Guard, as they just sow paranoia in the heads of Optic. They could be anywhere right now, but Victor's got a gorgeous timing.
This timing is amazing.
Oh, just as Jonah P sneaks around the corner, the patience!
And oh, just a quick hop around the corner. Trent just caught unaware, was not expecting, obviously, at all. But what a timing by Victor. And he's sitting nice and tidy just underneath Ye in terms of the overall scoreboard. He's another player who, over the course of his history, when he's performing at these Masters events on the global stage, he hasn't had a good time historically in his career.
This year, though, Victor is absolutely clean in 1v2s. He has been 5 and 8 so far this year for 1v2s, and that's another Red Bull clutch he puts up. 38% is an astounding win rate when you're down a player at the end of a round, and Victor's been good for it. This is the caliber of player you're dealing with when Victor's playing on his A game.
Ever since Optic knocked down into that lower bracket of their group,
they've just had fire.
Yeah, it's been a different Optic again, and they go through these moments. Honestly, they not only have the discipline that they gained so far at the beginning of 2022, but when they have the confidence as well to take the duels, sometimes this team does look unstoppable.
And it's all about consistency with them, it feels. Consistency and confidence, I think,
Sure.
the name of the game for Optic, and they've certainly started out with both here. The Guard are really struggling to get any headway. Serious mid-presence. Not dealing well, I think, with FNS's Sage Wall. Going for a little bit of a contacty play, pushing past Victor's ultimate. No abilities available for the Guard, and very low weaponry.
Yeah, they're trying to take this fight as well, and the Optic players can just flood right back into it. They know where they are, the crossfires that they have set up. Impeccable to try and shut that down. That's a Prime Gaming flawless, and Optic are carrying away this map, fastly approaching the halfway mark.
The Guard need a bit of a reset here. It certainly feels like they do. Look at Victor, he's so confident taking the timing, pushing through the smoke there. And it feels like the Guard are grouping up a lot, not really playing the map, not trying to deny information away from Optic.
Slow play.
No, not particularly. Op in play, Sire player, I said he was the key player to watch for the Guard on Icebox, normally dominates on this map, and he's 4-9.
And the Guard have made comebacks before, but the difference being this time it's on a much bigger stage. That's a wonderful start for them.
That's the opening pick that they need.
Now starting to work their way onto the site. Timing being waiting, there's the dart coming through, and Victor is going to be looking to deny the plan as the snakebite gets sent in. Maybe they can combo with a bit of utility. Viper's bit down on top of it, but with Ye falling early, it's not ideal. Jonah P, what is that? Learning some plays from TikTok or something, I'm not quite sure, but it works out in the end. No one clearing the corner. It's a round to add to the collection of the Guard. It's all he needed for them, and a Prime Gaming flawless, Josh.
That's a big turnaround. I mean, opening pick managed to be acquired there from Sire player. As Crashies goes for not a bad jiggle by any means. And Jonah P, where does he pull this one from? Just as the Viper's pit is going off. It is gorgeously timed, because Optic, as part of their protocol, are going to want to try and push inside of that and take the space really quickly as Valen deploys the ult. So it's a great timing for Jonah P to get into the backlines. Is it too little, too late for the Guard? Getting on the board, the best they can do here is a 4-8 half.
Tag up. It's the Hunter's Fury popped off there. Trent's just looking to see if he can get a pick, but no one's clearing the corner on FNS. He finds two. Marv also just locking it down, ensuring that he's going to be able to be good for one, and now just only 2 players remaining here. Final round of the half. Trent and Jonah B. He'd love to get at least one more on the board. It would make the impossible task they have for that comeback just all the more possible. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Trent just kicks the KO grenade. No, don't fancy that, thank you.
Now Paranoid to push forwards. Trent knows it. A play needs to be made right now, and they are taking the initiative. You know, still holding the back of it. Jonah P does get Victor. Takes a bit of damage in the process. Yeah, just working his way around. He knows where the TP was and shuts it down. Any chances of that round going skew whiff.
And he opens it up. The half begun with Ye fragging out, and he closes it out as well.
5, man.
18-5 is an astounding KD. Just absurd.
A dominant half by Optic so far. Coming out of the gate, swinging here in this rematch against Guard. Let's have series. It's a Guard's pick on Icebox as well, but they have come into this very prepared. And not only that, I mean, we are getting that consistent star-level performance out of Ye.
That's absolutely true. I think that Sage point that the desk brought up is really important. The defensive wall was granting them so many advantages that just simply won't be available to the Guard here. Much more of a passive look towards B, with Sire player taking early contact.
So risky. He could open himself up, but he finds the head. Quick dash back to health to his name, and he's going to survive. But the opening pick-off for them on a pistol round. If the Guard were to try and wrangle control back in this map, it's a wonderful start for them.
FNS gets the plant down, no major problems there. And Marv, what on earth is this lurk? All the way through A. He's going to be so far away. But are the Guard going for anything fast? It looks like they're trying to take their time and look for him. The longer they spend looking, the closer he's going to get.
Yeah. the worse it's going to be for them. Don't want to let them set up here. The Paranoia to cut across, I think, connecting onto the drone as well. Dart into the back, and now they're going to start to try and take some space and scaling forwards. Setting it up, two of the players, making sure that they can lock it, but Crashy still has the ghost spamming straight through the smoke, unloading the clip. He's finding the heads at the end of the day, but it's not enough for them. Half on the defuse, and time was running low, but a critical round to win here for the Guard.
That's massive for any comeback opportunities. You really needed that pistol. 9-3 feels almost impossible to come back from. So absolute necessity. We highlighted Marv's flank earlier on, and Crashies was trying to buy time for it, but it just wasn't enough. Net with the headhunter, you can see in the kill feed there, managed to find that pick. But I'm concerned how timid the Guard were at trying to shut down Crashies towards the end there. That's where I want to see the confidence flowing. And of course it has taken a knock early on, but you really need to be confident to help your teammates and flush that player out.
Sure, being proactive, not letting them get comfortable setting up with the post plants. So they're in those corners as well. And Optic is a team that historically as well, when they come to these big events, they tend to perform a lot better against the domestic competition, those North American teams.
That's a great point. Yeah, we were wondering, with the Guard missing groups, maybe playing against a familiar opponent would be a nice way to warm yourself up a little bit. Yeah. But actually, when you consider it, Optic's international record, their record against the teams from outside of North America, 5-4. They're 2-0 against NA teams at Masters events. They seem to really thrive in knowing their opponents and specifically prepping against them. Something that's easier to do when you've scrimmed against them for months and months.
Absolutely. There's confidence in knowing your enemy. And Optic are going to be handed a plant here. A bit of money.
A bit too easily.
A bit too easily. There was no pressure to push them off. Yeah,
that's concerning. And Marv once again going for a bit of a lurk play with the Sheriff.
Okay, swing around the corner, and you know, you've got to have faith in Ye to be winning these ones. Still the smoke's in play. I'm going to make sure that he can clear around these corners. A little one way to make it happen, but now with the nade sent in, just about misses. Victor unable to really disrupt and do too much more damage. In fact, there's going to be a flawless round there for the Guard to keep all their guns moving into the next one, which is an important factor.
Yeah, that is. We'll see if the Guard have anything special planned. It's quite difficult, actually, to cook up bonus ideas with the worst guns on Icebox defense. It's a very large map. But this round actually played out in a pretty similar way to the pistol. Optic playing passive post-plant positions with lurkers.
A late lurk.
Yeah, and that, I mean, double late lurk, actually. They had Victor in mid and Marv in kitchen, so I think already they're starting to condition the Guard. You've got to be wondering about our lurk plays. But the Guard have actually just answered by doing faster retakes, which I think is a pretty decent strategic adjustment.
Now, finally, Optic, with the rifles in hand, they've got the money to buy it. Crashy's incredibly close to his own ultimate, but for now it's a bit of slow play, poking, prodding, making sure that they can pull some of that utility out of the Guard.
Valen and Net, though, have pushed up really deep in B, and they've got themselves a little setup. Oh. They can hear Optic coming towards them as well. This is prime range for the Spectre.
And Valen, he needs to find some value. What a flick around here. Still, Net goes for the swing, the pop flash around the corner, dodged, and Net comes up with the goods. 2 kills, yeah.
Or 2-4-2, rather.
Now with a 3v3. Wall's going to go up, no players on the side from the Guard to try and disrupt and burst it down.
Jonapi's Paranoia has been so amazing on these retake setups, but normally they have more players alive. They need to break the wall. Jonapi could go for some kind of Paranoia players. Trent sends in the recon dart. We've seen him make those kind of moves before.
Cover going out.
Jonapi, the only one spamming this through as well.
Yeah, he can just kind of eat the Paranoia and then back off. They've gone for a much deeper version of it this time.
The dart as well comes through. Side player dashes right up top. They're aware of his positioning, jumps down into the smoke. Evanes is finished, and that is the Optic players falling one after the other. A beautiful utility combo by the Guard to try and take control of the yellow box there.
This value from the Omen is superb. We were talking about the difference between the Omen and the Sage, and the Sage's value is really obvious, right? That wall is so hard to deal with and does grant you all of these advantages in the early round. Double smoke on either side of yellow, Paranoia onto players who are trying to play post-plan, and Jonapi occasionally can mix it up by using his Shrouded Step onto the top of yellow. There's so many things that one into their game, because I think Guard are going to find it much more difficult to get value out of Paranoia if you have to you know, swing into a 50-50.
Absolutely,
Your
yeah.
opponents control a huge amount of the map. That's the adjustment I would be going for.
We'll see if they heed your advice, Josh. Actually, if they, well, hopefully not, that'll be cheating.
Well, also, Optic don't have the weaponry this round, so whatever that tactical timeout was for, probably going to be implemented in round 19, yeah.
Net ends up using his ultimate a little bit later into the round here, so tour de force just to watch down this mid-angle for Optic.
Quite an investment, actually, this round, but it's already paying dividends. Yep. There goes Ye, and he's one of the most dangerous players on eco rounds for Optic. They don't win many of them, but they've won way more at Masters Reykjavik than they're known for online. And I think part of that is just Ye really stepping up and having massive value out of his Headhunter utility.
Optic have been granted quite a bit of space here, but we'll see if the guard push them away. Don't hand them the free plant. Wall drop down, dart as well to combo up, but again, without the rifles in hand, it is difficult for them to get much done.
Can you imagine that play, though, but with a Victor Flash? Flash Recon combo together, try and take Snowman control. I feel like that idea would work out. We'll see what Optic go for next round, but at the moment, in a 2v5 and 2 players with Sheriffs, it doesn't look particularly winnable.
Yeah. He's not known as much for the clutch, but...
That's true. He has a very specific role on this team, and it is as an IGL. He gets decent value, actually, on Icebox out of his Sage, so no problems there.
Yeah.
There's a prime game in Flawless as the guard draw things back up. 7-9.
And this was a 9-3 half, Josh.
That's crazy.
9-3 half.
Both teams, Brent, both teams starting out with a 4-0 lead to their defensive half.
You can kind of see why with, I think, the nature as well, the composition. If you look at Optic's lineup, when you put Ye on the chamber, that conscious decision, he's not going to be afforded as much agency to, you know,
make space.
Rapidly take space. You know,
yeah.
He needs to be set up for it with his teleports. He can still do it, but it's a lot more purposeful compared to if he was on Jet. He could be, you know, at any given moment, just dash away or take space aggressively.
Well, here's a little piece of aggression from the guard. They drone down mid, Sire player posts up with the operator, but they've kind of misread the tempo a little bit here as Optic challenge towards B. Trade 1-for-1 with Net. But that means the flashes are gone, so if they had any aspirations of playing past their Viper wall, that's going to be a little more difficult, at least until Victor comes back online.
Sire player, it's going to be heard in mid. The updraft with the knives! Straight over the top, they were not anticipating it. Marv, lucky to shut that one down. It is going to be the trade in play.
But they're up because of the res. FNS again finding value. They know where Marv is. Jonah P has the timing here, and Marv might be telling them to come back to A. No, the spike's still committed. But Jonah P has a great idea on where this Viper lurk is.
And there's still time for Optic, obviously, with the 50 seconds left, but it does seem like they're showing no signs of changing their mind in terms of what site to really approach.
At the moment, the guard have very little information apart from on Marv. Here, as the plant starts to go down, they'll realize that there's a committal here to B. But Trent, Valen, they weren't in position to be able to do anything about it, and there Trent hits the floor.
And that's Ye just essentially pre-firing the traces. That's why you don't really want to be spamming as much with the Vandal.
Doesn't stop people though, does it?
No, they still do it. They still do it.
And this has been an extremely effective round by Optic, playing more for picks than actually for any level of post-plan. By the time they get into a post-plan situation, they've already basically won the round.
Yeah. And the decision being made here by the guard, obviously, to save their guns, despite the fact that they've built up quite a bankroll. I think, again, that just showcases the rare discipline that you don't normally see with rookie teams, younger teams, I would say. Like the guard, I mean, that's something that's been drilled into them by MCE, who's been their coach.
And of course, with a team full of rookies, the questions will always be there about how they... Yeah, that is so good. The questions are always going to be there about how they'll perform in a match like this. But I think one of the reasons that I still feel fairly confident about them is that they're brand new. I mean, this team formed in January, and if they were going to have issues with experience and, you know, all the classic mistakes that young teams run into, it would have happened by now, I feel.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is a different stage, but they have just demonstrated no aspect of that at all so far in their run to Masters Reykjavik. Obviously, something we'll have to be monitoring as their run progresses throughout the tournament.
And Optic looking to at least put a dent in the run, I think. They'd be quite happy with that if they came up, obviously, when they rematched or when they last played. was the guard who came up on top, and that's why we haven't seen them play in the groups just far.
Optic have mostly been leaning towards B in a lot of these rounds, and this feels very different. They got the Viper wall down early, a minute 10 still on the clock, and this feels like an A commitment. There's 3 players here for the guard, including Net, who again, usually on B.
Nade is slow with Optic committing a lot of their pieces to see if they can catch a player. I believe that combo was sent towards Generator with the dart as well, so if a player tried to reposition, they'd be able to unload the clip through the smoke.
Look at the Omen one way here. Jonah P just slinking his way over to Generator. They don't exactly know he's here, but he also hasn't had many opportunities. And as FNS gets lit up like a Christmas tree, there's Ye holding the angle.
Trent ends up using his Hunter's Fury as a response as soon as they lose the player, but doesn't get a pick off from it. And Optic, all that space being gained while all that was happening from Marv, he has found his way onto the B site, a deep position. And he makes the call. He says, guys, it's free. Come over here. 20 seconds remaining, but maybe Sire player can do something to disrupt it like ships in the night. It's going to pass just over the Marv, and now the plant going to start to go down.
Planted.
And it's pointless for Sire player to try and contest FNS as he gets spiked down. There's going to be a Sage Wall in the way. They're still looking for this lurker. They know there's going to be one here, and it's Net who's going to take contact. What a whip from Victor!
Wow. Wonderful shots there to be able to find it, but FNS does get the trade in the end. Now we see the dart come through. Sire player just holding the top of the box of Ye down. That's a lot of the firepower of Optic. It's going to be missing in this one, but maybe the rest of the team can still clutch this one forwards. Crashes working his way around. He's going to fall. And now Valen versus Marv, the Viper players up against each other. A quick tap of the spike just to try and force the swing.
And Marv,
ice cold, man, ice cold.
He's crazy good. That round is so well played by Marv. He starts things off by getting a gorgeous lurk all the way into B. And Marv is just playing so well on these lurks. But look at the state of the economy right now.
Yes.
The guard, this is their last chance at winning this round.
They lose this round. That'd be disastrous for them. Money's not ideal. Dart was a bit of work for them, but now look at Ye taking positioning up on Balt, just slowly creeping, crawling up. See if he can catch just that one angle.
What does Jonah P see?
Moving up round the corner! Trying to spam it down.
You can't lose those.
Can't lose those.
He had the opportunity to grab one and Shrouded step out. His team were there to help him as well. But Optic go up. Net with a bit of a peek, uses his rendezvous to be able to get away there. 10 HP, 8 HP in fact. Net barely making it away with his life. But he grabs the info, and so 3 players stay for guard.
And here we go. Victor pops the ultimate now. Everybody on the side going to be suppressed up. No abilities in use with the dart as well. Against the side, the nade is going to be slammed right into the corner. A little bit of a sidestep for them, but Victor will fall in the end. Still, Reservoir can be picked up, but with the Viper's pit down, so hard for them. The guard, though, might just be trying to make it work, but the players are low. The more time they spend in this one, they have to dodge and juke all of this utility that's going their way. That's the kill from earlier. Marv just holstered up, trying to post up right around the corner. He has to try and find a couple more kills, but the guard are moving forwards with Ye down. It's now a 2v2. Crashies works his way into the pit. Quick little sidestep, and not enough for Sire player to contend with.
Incredible response from Optic on this map. And I say response, it's been a couple of weeks in the coming, but Optic have got a fire lit under them. Marv here, it was labored from both sides, but he has had some real impact plays, impact kills. And he's just a menace inside his own Viper's pit.
Yeah, imagine if Marv goes down there.
Yeah.
Different round of our Viper's pit.
It is a completely different round. That opening duel, massively helpful for Optic. And the money, it ain't looking great. Trent has a Marshall light armor on Net, Trent, Valen. Net, Valen, and Jonah P, sorry.
Yeah, Marv the buy up here. Drone comes through, and Marv is watching for the tube push. No space gained. Viper's pit down, though, on it. And Sire player, he pushes up. He takes a risk. Rewarded for it with that pick off onto Victor. And FNS is 2 points away from the res, so it's not going to be available just yet, not unless he ends up grabbing the orb and maybe a plant. They might be able to play for that, but
it's definitely possible. Sire player might have a lot of responsibility in this round, and Jonah P. He's so close to these players in mid. Marved again with the impact kill.
And across being found, Sire player found knives online. He did take out, yeah, he still has to get it, but Crashy's a perfect swing. Supplements it for his team, and he takes out the star player of the guard. Dart off to the side, Shock. That's a bit of damage. 2v2. FNS with the res, might be able to use that one, and he does indeed. Victor back into the fight, but it isolates Crashies. He has to hold this down. Trent sticking it halfway now, swings around the corner, and nobody was checking it to the side.
These two teams went head-to-head to decide who got the first seed coming out of NA. It went all the way down to the final map, Haven, all the way down to the final round after a ridiculous comeback from the Guard, and SirePlayer hit a 1v3 to be able to close it out for them. So when I say it was close, it was insanely close. And both of these teams have been looking hot on this map. Optic have made that slight adjustment since then to bring in the KO. They ran that in their previous game too. But I think this is so much about what value Victor is able to achieve.
That's the storyline, I think. Couldn't agree more.
If he plays like he did in that second game against Xerxia, this might be all wrapped up in 2.
Yeah, and Victor on the Neon as well. I mean, they've pulled it out. It's a role that he's been playing more and more of. Yay.
It's a great start.
Yeah, tries to play in the corner. Quick little whip around. Victor's taken out as well. Luckily, the trade was there as Crashies was watching it, but still going to be moving into this one with a player disadvantage. And the Guard setting up those post plants. You can see it. Jonah P just holding a piece of utility, either to flash or the aftershock, something in line.
Yeah, he's ready to pop this. Looks like off the contact from Trent.
Crashes up top.
Got a flash coming out.
Knife in the pot flash. Crashes wants to try and capitalize, but Jonah P, he's healthy. Takes him out. Mark now just trying to go for the double swing here, but FNS is left alone. Just a 1v3 with a paranoia and a swing. Great timing off that one. The Guard.
It's a good start.
Win.
It's a good start. It gets the confidence flowing. It gets the Guard believing that they can make the comeback. And it's a good start for Trent as well. 2-0. Didn't have as much impact as perhaps we were hoping on Icebox. This is, I think, more of his comfort territory where he can really show us whether he's able to live up to all of that hype that we have for him. We know he's an incredibly talented player, but we spoke to him in an interview and he said, listen, I know that I'm going to be nervous when I get up there for the first time because he's realistic. That is what these guys are going through. I know. He's
17 years of age.
One of the youngest players at the tournament, one of the least experienced, one of the most talented. Here comes Victor going for a really fast play, but that's a team flash. Is it? No,
wow.
In fact, I think it was a counter flash coming out from Jonah P.
Counter flash comes out from the Guard, just absorbing the aggression. I mean, listen, I really do love that. Just anticipating that an aggressive play was going to get cooked up by Optic.
Yeah, lovely.
And being able to instantly answer back.
You need that, right? And SirePlayer just caught a flash of Ye there for a moment. I think this is going to give him even more confidence to start going up towards C. The dog might actually kill FNS there.
Yeah. It does do damage. Direct
I think it does.
I think it's like 30, right?
Yeah, it does.
Does enough. Damage. Does enough. Anyway, a bit of a spray through with the run and gun. Spectre in hand.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, Marv. Okay, Marv. Okay.
He knows he's not going to win that.
He knows he's not going to win it. Might as well just spend your time just, you know, crouching repeatedly over your enemy's body. Why not?
You know, Brent, something that doesn't get talked about enough, it's about half a mental game.
Sure.
You know, performing in these kind of matches is all about your mentality. If Marv can, you know, knock you down a couple of pegs early, then maybe that is
That's a win for him.
Yeah, maybe it is. But the actual rounds on the board are going for the Guard, and they've got a decent bonus economy heading in here. You know, a couple of Sheriffs, a couple of Spectres. They can certainly do some level of damage. Looks like Optic are set up for early A-lobby control. This is their standard. They're going to be throwing down a smoke, using the stun from Neon, trying to control A-lobby early. Yeah. And they've got this lineup too for the KO nade.
Oh, that nade is massive.
It's so good. The KO nade comes up over the top, through the roof, and lands there to stop anybody taking A-lobby on the attack.
An instant response there. SirePlayer dashes them straight onto B. They realize that the A-lobby control probably not going to be in the cards.
Spike planted.
Pick up into Net. I think Net was just trying to catch the lurk up
One
into
enemy
B with
remaining.
the spike down. Gonna be left alive. Only the Sheriff in his palms, and that is not enough. Not when Ye is watching the angle.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get the defuse here. Very easy refutation of the bonus round coming through from the Guard.
Flawless.
And we start things off in a pretty normal manner. That's a prime game in Flawless for Optic. They keep all 5 of their Vandals on board. And for Optic, yeah, they had to deal with a little bit of tempo there, as the Guard immediately went from A lobby fight to running into B. But it wasn't too difficult for them. The Guard are going to throw in quite a few of those B hits. It's one of the ways in which they play their attack half. They're not afraid to go for B plants, which a lot of teams steer away from. But this A lobby control is going to be such a theme of this map. And it's the exact same setup here for Optic.
You're going to see different approaches as well. Some teams, when they're playing against the Neon, they have different ways. This time around, the Guard are just waiting it out.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if they're going to use all of that utility, the Guard can wait and slowly try and retake that area later. This is such a patient, disciplined opening to the round by the Guard, but they don't have very much map control as a result of it.
Yeah.
Gonna flash, make sure there's nobody pushed up deep in mid, and then it looks like Trent's gonna use his dog to be able to clear short, long, or perhaps they're going for a bit of a contact re-clear. Victor will see them.
Yeah, I think they want to regain this A-long control, the stun to push Victor off the angle. If they can regain control of this orb as well, it's going to be able to give Trent the Seekers now. The tool, another ultimate they can use. Quick clear there, Trent with the Trailblazer. Up top though, that does spot Marv. He sends out the utility, still wants to hold it down, dodges the flash. Trent is going to be able to try and win it, but the spray down. Marv is ready for it, a quick dash off to the side. Saya player is on point. Valen as well, close behind him.
Valen does amazingly there. Victor with the swing, trying to trade him out. Valen's good for 2.
Cover going out.
3v2 in the post plant here as Ye Crashies come to see if they can get the job done. Flash allows Ye to drop down. Not good enough. Crashies left in a 1v3.
Yeah, Crashies does take out one of the targets, tries to make the swing. But Net, that's a shutdown for him. And
if we want to talk a little bit about how the Guard approach that from a macro sense, they didn't really throw too many looks towards B or C at all on that round. They had the stun, the fault line that went towards A, and then they essentially just committed to the site. Here's that trade that I was talking about. Valen manages to take out Victor, as Victor has a wonderful timing on it. Nothing wrong with how the Guard how Optic played that.
Yeah.
But Valen finds just the perfect moment to reset his aim and take out Neon.
And I do want to focus on Victor as well coming into this one, because he has had that resurgence in performance, especially after the initial loss that Optic had in this tournament. But sometimes his value on the Neon as well, especially on Haven, can be hit or miss.
I think it's the defensive side that usually ends up being a miss. He's pushed deep in mid right now.
Just clear him out.
Stunned.
He has to use the flash lane to try and escape, running around the smoke. Bit of coverage for him. Lucky to survive.
Just gets out, and FNS has used both flashes and knife right now to try and bail him out and provide some level of distraction. He's the only player that's playing really towards Garage, as Optic give up B, give up both connectors. 3 stack over on A. They don't have any info. They're having to use Sky's dog just to re-clear short and give them some kind of timing.
Comes through, quick little dodge, and that means the Seekers are still in play, but that KO nade is great at splitting up Saya player. Anyone from Optic able to disrupt it? Not quite. It's going to be control of the B side taken with the spike down now. The post plans can start to be played, but it looks like Optic trying to play a bit fast there with the flash that was sent in.
The Garage push here would be phenomenal decision making by the Guard, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. Trent taking that area of the map, backing out of it for the moment. If you just try and spam this post plan, it ends up being such RNG a lot of the time.
Caught in the fault line.
And Marv's behind them.
Yeah, surely the smoke's going to fade with the trademark ticked off. They got to know that Marv is currently flanking, but is anybody watching it? Pushing through the players. Far too many from the Guard just watching that one sight line. And, yeah, unfortunate for Marv, honestly, just
Got caught in the trademark.
Making himself aware from the trademark, right, when he was trying to flank.
Yeah, his flanks were amazing on Icebox, and he just didn't quite catch the timing there. Valen, you can see him pinging it out for the rest of his team, and they do manage to just catch the player that was on the defuse. Popping off as well. The Guard starting to gain some momentum here. 4-1 up, and they've broken the economy of Optic. This is certainly the start that they were looking for. They got a good start to the second half on Icebox, and it certainly feels like those early jitters that we saw might be cooling off a little.
Worked out. I think that's evident just from how much the Guard have been slowing down the start of these rounds. At the beginning of Icebox, we didn't really see too much of that from.
Yeah, it was a little rushed.
That's quite nice though.
Starts one off. Valen, he got headshot by something early on in the round.
Here.
And Crashy's crosshair placement's actually pretty decent for where Net was playing, but now he repositions himself, backs out, and Net has garage control. He's going to tell Saya player to meet up with him. Looks like the push is going to pinch through C.
Oh my goodness, yay! You can always count on him, man. You can always count on him to turn around these rounds. They have no right winning. Obviously, it was FNS who got that opening, but Ye's the one who's re-clearing. Now the Trailblazer, they spotted him. They know where he is, and they want to try and play aggressively right around the corner. Regaining the rifles, taking him out. from their opponents here, but Jonah Peters timing the swing coming straight through into C. And now Trent, he's being pressured to Paranoia. It's a lovely little combination of utility from Optic and Crashies. Nice aim, thrifty win for Optic.
What a spectacular round. It's Ye's tour de force that really makes it work. Brent, they pop that a lot on eco rounds. Oh, Net's elbows just took out. But it's the kill on Sire player that's the spectacular one, just as he's slinking around the door.
Yeah.
They pop that quite a lot on their eco rounds, and they still have a 64% win percentage whenever Ye uses tour de force. That's higher than their normal like gun round win percentage. It's crazy. What Ye is able to do with that weapon is absurd.
You want to play? Let's
Chamber,
play.
powerful agent, but in the hands of Ye. See this fast approach now being taken here by the guard. And Valen actually sticks his ultimate. He's up in heaven. Has to be re-cleared now by Optic.
But all of the pace of that was taken out by FNS's knife. The 0 point caught onto Sire player and removed his jet knives.
Quick little TPs. Lucky that nobody was watching that sideline.
Spike planted.
Could have been disastrous for him. Deeper flash now. Trailblazer.
The dog gets so deep.
Catches onto Trent, and now you see the engagement. Optic, they've committed so much utility straight out of it. Victor, he's in the fight. He's in the thick of it. And the rest of his team follows up beautifully.
That Sire player, he just
can't
can't
do
use his
anything.
ultimate. The Blade Storm completely offline, only just now coming back.
And he's got a hell of a task ahead of him. Quick dash in! Kills the diffuser, but not enough. Yay! So consistent. As hairy as that was, man. Optic gonna be taking that one away. That was so close.
That was wild, especially considering that Sire player only had his Blade Storm online for, what, a quarter of the round? Getting hit by a 0 point early and then FNS's ultimate itself. But this is so good by Victor. Good. That's because of how much information Crashy's got with his dog. The dog went running on in, woof woof, sees everything, and there's just a single player at default.
Yep.
What's that, Lassie? There's one player at default?
Yeah, that was sublime from Victor as well. Just when I was talking him up as well to have that good performance, but again, an injection, the tempo increased. The guard not wasting any time as Sire plays dashed all the way into the side. Pop flash from FNS, doesn't catch onto any players, but again, the dog just pointing and giving all that information. Still Sire player wants to try and take command along with Jonah P, but they're a little bit out of sync, and no one has dealt with Marved at the back of the plat. Still holding it down, but the flash is immense. The door! You've gotta be kidding me!
It's absolute filth from Victor. That is that's another 1v2, Bren. I mean, just chalk it up. Another one on the stats. They lined up perfectly for him, but they had no idea where Victor was positioned. And from the guard's perspective, I love how they cleared Marved out from the back here. They took a moment, used the Sky Flash.
He triggered the trademark on the flank.
I'm not even sure that Victor knew there was another player there. He's shooting a
shooting the one.
Gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
Fortune smiles upon him
Blessed by God for a moment.
as Optic tie things back up at 4 apiece. And then, Fortune giveth, Fortune taketh away.
I feel like this tournament has had so many of those moments.
Just kills through the
Vandal,
smoke.
yeah, running with a Vandal, spraying through the smoke, getting a random headshot.
Of course, it's part of the game. It's all part of the game.
Vandal goes down, but Rolling Thunder committed into this round here. This is a half buy for the guard. TPing into a close angle, and immediately the guard just backing away into this round, committing ults into it.
Ye has a feeling that it's going to be a C-split, and I think he'd be correct. Net still on the lurk. Ye almost peeked it for a moment there. Flash catches him for a second. As Net finds a pick and the Seeker's blind Ye.
The Seekers give so much information. Net knew exactly where Crashies was and picks that one up as well. Remember, this is a half buy for the guard. They're currently leading. They've got the player advantage. With a better weaponry, they still have a chance to try and swing it around. But no, they're just saving. They're just going to the complete opposite side of things.
Wow.
Saving against a half buy.
Saving. I mean, a 3v5 save, I'm all on board for. 3v5 save against the Eco is some serious level of respect. You look at their economy, FNS with only 500 credits, Marved with only 100, Ye with an operator, of course, that you wouldn't really be able to rebuy.
Yeah.
So I think this is the smart decision.
I do think that's a smart decision, yeah.
At the end of the day, Net's lurk and Trent's ultimate get them so much value. What are we up to here?
I don't know. Maybe exchanging guns.
Yeah.
Just checking out the skins.
Marv's got a little smile on his face.
Yeah. Maybe saying what you're working with.
Thrifty.
They're not going to get hunted down by anybody. The guard would love to take weapons out of their hands, but it's just, they're just too far away. And Brent, something I've been following a storyline throughout North American Valorant and now heading into Masters Reykjavik. That is a ridiculous shot by side player.
Okay.
Lady luck, honestly. But yeah, Optic domestic. I think for Optic, there is still a chance they close this out 2-0, even if they lose the next 3 rounds in a row. So for Optic, every round from here on is just good to get on the board, but possibly not even necessary. You're really looking at them in the second half to have that bite to their game.
Yeah, and the buy is a little bit scuffed here for Optic, but obviously Victor does have his ultimate as well.
Look at Victor, actually, too. They are waiting for a flash into Garage. They've got to read that the guard are going for flashes into Garage frequently, and so Victor's got his face pressed up into the corner, with the idea being that when the flash comes in, Crashies would counter flash, and Victor would, I mean, either use his frenzy or pop his ultimate and kill those people who are coming in. But the guard are playing very slowly, very patiently here once again.
I think anticipating that there could be
Some
sort
kind
of
of
setup, trap play, especially when Victor has his ult online. I think Optic in the past as well. Sometimes they do take that into account with some plays that they like to make.
Absolutely. Yeah, you should always be aware of your opponent's ultimates because they're going to build a game plan around them. Great flash pushes Ye off the angle all the way back towards A right now.
That's
And this, I think, is going to break the Garage setup too. Yeah, Victor, Crashies start rotating as they realize it's probably an A push.
Oh, Paranoia, fault line, flash over the top, the guard. They perfectly space it all out.
And FNS didn't even know where he died from, so he couldn't give that info to the rest of his team. Here comes Victor!
Victor just runs straight in, ultimate popped off, but shut down. Sire player holding it close, and now up to Trent. Punish coming through, but the teammates, Sire player just trying to watch his back, and at the same time, Optic gonna be wishing they had somebody watching theirs. Net with a beautiful lurk through mid.
The guard are finding a lot of success towards just popping into A. If they wait for long enough, then Optic's early round A lobby control doesn't actually become as useful. They lose information towards there. And this play, as they hit the site, sets up Sire player beautifully. The trade playing inside the smoke as well, making sure to punish Victor. Good lurk as well, says Valen, over towards Net. Exactly what you pointed out, Brent. Optic with low money right now. Gonna save this round to buy in the final, buy in round 12.
Yeah, looking towards that halftime switch. Obviously, they have to plan ahead with the money, the budget.
And the guard right now are looking like Zeta Division. Just so slow. Unwilling to take early map control, waiting patiently for any utility to come out from the defenders, and then pushing the players, or punishing the players rather, that are pushed up, as Victor goes for a play right now.
Yeah. This is where you could see potential for things to go wrong for them, obviously, when you give up space like this and try to retake it, because Optic, with the money situation, they're going to be taking a lot more risks. You can see it first hand right here. Victor pushed all the way up, and they don't clear it. 2 shots rattled off. Weaponry found. He's going to score that one back, and look at that. Whips out of the line of sight. Sire player can't even take him out.
No chance. No, the best reflexes in the world couldn't hit that one.
And that's why sometimes it is dangerous to slow play against the ecos.
Of course. Of course, you've got, there is such a thing as having too much respect against an opponent. And Optic have been allowed a lifeline here.
30
Round
seconds
11,
left.
they saved. And yet they're having one delivered to them. Ye's in a great position again. He knows exactly where Sire is, and they didn't clear the right-hand side. That is not just a thrifty, that's a flawless. Optic were in control the entire time. Ye hitting shots, Victor pushed deep down mid.
Yeah.
What a difference that one makes.
Unsupported as well, but still able to rattle off the shots and make sure that you can find value. It's so dangerous going up against them as well. These eco rounds.
And Trent swings in short there, but just gives Ye the timing. Didn't even spot that one, actually. The FNS just...
Through the smoke.
Yeah, predicted that. I mean, you know exactly where Sire player is going to be playing there. And Ye's going to tell him that he updrafted. So this means Optic have a chance to tie up the half, buying into the final round.
Let's play.
A deeper flash there. It's going to get them a lot of information. The Blade Storm, Sire player, the updraft, and the team wants to put and apply that pressure. Crashies just trying to sidestep it, and he's going to be giving up the site entirely. Optic looking to play the retake here.
It's a good execute, but they've used a lot of utility, and Optic have been able to save theirs. Still have a flash. Victor, I mean, FNS still with 2 of them as well. Golden ultimate gets broken and sell back.
Yeah, just gets a bit of information of who might be playing now, I suppose, but the spam, Valen, is falling quite low. Now you see the engagement, Paranoia all the way through. Victor wants to just commit all of his stuns as well into it, but Trent just moves around the back. The spray control is immense. Has to lock this one through. Him and Net versus Ye, El Diablo. He'd love to clutch this one up for them, but when the Tour de Force is in play, it's almost an impossibility.
Extremely difficult for him to be able to pull out there. So it is a 7-5 half in the end for the Guard, which I think is good, of course, and they've had the momentum for the majority of it. But overall, Optic are going to be fairly happy about that too. With this retake, sure, it doesn't work for them because Trent comes up with a great play, but you can see how happy they are execing into sights.
Underway, going to toss it back to Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much. Yes, here we are, getting started here in the second half, and this pistol round, a vitally important one, Josh.
Exactly what the desk was saying, right? If Optic are able to get this pistol, it draws them back left. Look at the aggression coming out immediately. Side play with the frenzy, catches Ye. He is, of course, a demon on the pistol rounds. We've already seen it on both of the maps.
Yeah.
So that you could not find a better opener.
A frenzy in hand. Despite the fact that Optic have lost their star player in the form of Ye, doesn't seem like they're disheartened. The contact play all the way into A.
What a wild contact play. FNS,
No noise.
calling this one, and it's absolutely silent. And they are so deep before Net even realizes from his position in heaven.
Right into the corner, and now Victor trying to play in hell here with the smoke popped off the stun to try and disrupt the Trailblazer, making sure it can't get any value, but this lurk now into mid by Marv. He's just trying to catch the perfect timing still. This retake, it's coming so rapidly. The trade is there as Trent will find Crashies, but where is Marv? The timing's just not quite there.
It's not there at all. Marv's lurks, they were impeccable on Icebox, but it's not going to work this time. The Guard take an absolutely pivotal pistol. And listen, I'm not counting Optic out of round 14 by any means, because we've seen some wildness with the Thrifties, but that in theory should put them up 9-5 with a fairly commanding lead before Optic can even get guns online. That one is extremely crucial, and the Guard are really happy with retakes. Both of these compositions trend quite execute heavy, but I'm using the word execute there rather than attack heavy because they're also really good for retakes.
Absolutely.
And on Haven, you're often going to be playing C for full retake, B for full retake, A for full retake. Not all at once.
I mean,
of course,
we've seen so many of those retakes occurring as well.
Yeah.
The paranoia is cutting across the stuns.
And the teams are clinical with them. Absolutely clinical. Ye taken out as the first pick once again. Doesn't afford him any opportunity to impact these rounds with his Headhunter.
For Optic, the only goal here is to maybe take out a bit of the weaponry and get that spike down. A bit more money available to them would be lovely.
Remaining.
The Guard are finding it quite easy now to clean up all these targets that might be in front of them, including the flash. FNS actually managing to dodge that and get two. Pretty good value in the end, I think, as well, considering the circumstances of the economy.
That makes a bit of a difference, that, actually.
Yeah.
They got the spike plant money, they get 2 of the guns away from the Guard. But this is one of those rounds where I expect to see something bold come out from the Guard. Let's have a look at Side Play's peak here. Yay, like I said, opening kill in both of these rounds needs to be something that is adjusted. The way that Optic play their attack half is that Victor is the one that makes the space and T-Ruff. So let's take a look. Round 15, the bonus for the Guard. What have they got cooked up? Not going to be an A-lobby push here. Instead, Sire with the knives heading down C-long.
And they're meeting him head on. The paranoia dashes past the Trailblazer. And the final knife just to reset it. Sire player with 2. You have got to be kidding me.
That is such a good play. The fact he dodges the utility coming out from Crashies too. The dog takes a dive.
That's unbelievable.
And he just goes straight
And
past
they've got
it.
spike control.
Yeah.
It's dropped down. What a play to cook up. And Josh,
That's gorgeous. I mean, just coming straight out of the timeout too.
you've got to think about the mind games of this as well. You're thinking bonus round, okay.
One enemy remaining.
Well, a little bit rough there, but got it eventually.
And that gets away with it, and Victor's left in a 1v5.
Victor left alone.
I mean, you just can't win these.
Never say never.
You just can't win
You've been,
these.
yeah, never say never. He's found one.
I mean, there are 4 players all stacked up on top of the spike here, though. It is almost the most difficult situation you could be in for a 1v5, 1v4 kind of
I mean, in this scenario, you do just want to be saving the weapon. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the reality of it, right? I mean,
30 seconds
eco
left.
rounds are much more effective when you have a single rifle. He's tempted to do a bit of economical damage, but the guard can still full buy next round, even if you killed all of them.
And look at the setup they've got as well. As soon as a player on the guard takes contact, okay. Flash doesn't get any information, but Jonapi's holding the stun, and enough players watching the angles that Victor doesn't get much done. And what a play to come up with as well, the guard. I mean, as well, if you're watching...
To go. And why wouldn't it be? I mean, Optic,
Yeah.
they don't really have anything here. They've got a Bulldog. It would have been nice for them to save that Vandal from the previous round. I think your call was correct there. But, you know, as a player, you never want to give up the chance of it happening. But it's not like they have any big ults to work with. No Tour de Force online. I mean, they don't have a Bladestorm, obviously, not running a Jet. And Victor 2 points away from his ult, too.
And how fast Sire player is able to take space there on top of the bricks to watch that angle down. But the anticipated contact play here by Optic again. It's like another B-leaning play with the trademark destroy. Trent is ready for it, but as the crossfire is enabled, Optic are such a scary team. Rifle picked up, but eventually put back down again as Crashies is sent back to the respawn queue. Has to watch his team try and close out this round without him. Quick little swing!
What a
Yay!
push.
Beautiful win.
What a push, what a timing for Ye to find. And the flash, it catches Sire player even though they have no idea it did so. They must know that Sire player was playing over towards the A side of things.
What can he do, Josh, with this operator, man?
So difficult in a 1v2 clutch.
Gets the first one. Does not know where the second player is. The updraft into the cloud burst. A little bit delayed in terms of the inputs, and it means that FNS knew exactly where he was. A thrifty win again for Optic.
It's just wild. These teams are just going back and forth on the thrifties. They find so many opportunities, and I liked the guard setup. They had a trademark at the front of B. I mean, maybe we'll see it here. Yeah, trademark prompts a flash, but Crashies hits a gorgeous shot onto Trent, and then Jonah P just swings too far to try and punish Crashies.
Oh my god, nice round. Job.
And you could, I mean, you can feel it. The relief on the Optic players there.
I think that's exactly the emotion that they were feeling there. It keeps them close in the map.
Now Victor on this attack side. You can see the disrespect he's showing to his A lobby control. Still, it seems like the guard are ready for it. Trent was holding down that angle. I think he was supplementing it with the flash that he had as well. And now using the dog just to clear through A long, ensuring that no player is going to be holding a deep angle there.
Looks like they're headed towards B once again, and they know what that defensive setup looked like. KO nade over in the corner from FNS.
But look at this. The setup that's being played here with the Rolling Thunder. Jonah P is ready for this. They're trying to play to disrupt this plant. And it gets tapped there by Crashies. They're trying to force out the ultimate. It's a bait by Optic.
And they get everything. They're back through Garage.
This quick swing comes through. They're trying to get these pickoffs. Still the guard. With an F's falling, Trent flashes through into the backside of it. Marved has to hold this down while Ye plants.
It looks
Flash
like
though.
an amazing position, but they knew he was there.
And Marv 66 health. So much pressure on his shoulders now. Ye able to hold down that garage angle with the operator. Quick little updraft as well. They're swinging from two different elevations. Ye has fallen. Marved into 1v2. He'd love to win this out for his team. 66 health. Tries to go for the tap, but the swing timing again from Sire player. Amazing spacing.
Just perfect play from the guard in that 1v2 towards the end. Jonah P with a very small jiggle, and then Sire player Ferrari swings out as Jonah P backs off. Couldn't have played that angle better. But this round overall was beautiful from Optic.
Yeah.
The idea that they had and the call from FNS.
Just that macro idea to bait and pull the ults out.
They read it perfectly.
It was great.
They knew exactly which players were going to be playing to defend B. They knew they were going to be playing retake. And they knew that that breach ult would get forced out.
But it didn't matter.
It didn't matter in the end, not one bit. And Optic, 6-11 down right now, struggling. Struggling to really find themselves a value on the executes, I think.
Cover going now. Well, Josh, you were talking about his Tour de Force usage. He's found a massive one. Without opening pick, Victor just running all the way into the back of the site. And Jonah P, okay. Just staring at the side profile of Crashies for a second, admiring it. And now you see the recontest, the flash. Right into mid. Marv just completely blind. Yedo. A quick scope, has to whip out a headhunter as he's stunned up, just right round, but not able to get his way out of that one.
And I really feel like Trent is starting to come online here in the later moments of this map.
Yeah.
He's 14 and 10 right now. Sure, not dominating the server, not top fragging. Saya's doing that by a long shot. But Trent's had these moments in these rounds where he's able to get aggressive and show us some of that flair that he's been so good at. This round, though, was on Jonah B. He just happened to be in the perfect situation.
Now, I don't know if that was out of sync or if they were just BMing. Celebrating before they killed. Yeah, who knows? I mean, listen. It's good that they got the confidence, but
Map
insane
point.
map point for the guard on Optic's map pick.
We've seen so far in this tournament many times people trading on map picks. Net a little late with the rendezvous, and Optic find the first two openers.
Just the contact push through the smoke there. They knew that there could have been something happening.
Jonah B's got his breach ult up. The Rolling Thunder's online again. He only had that a couple of rounds ago, but he just farmed so many kills in the prior. Could end up making a difference right now. Look at the positioning from the guard, though. They're so far away. It feels like a save.
Yeah, insanely passive. They are just going to be saving.
3v4 when you have breach ult. If they were in position here, I think they'd go for it. But they're worried about the connectors.
Sure,
Both
just in case
connectors
they
are being
took the-
controlled by Optic.
Yeah.
And so as you try and get into position, you're probably going to get caught by Crashies, for example.
Oh, wow, the patience. The Thai play knows. Another player just skipping a hop up into heaven. They are trying to hunt them. And yeah, if you just look... Okay, Jonah P. That's not ideal when you want to
Jonah P
save the rifles, but listen.
tucking himself into a corner there and not quite making that one.
But I completely agree with you, Josh. If you purely look on paper at the economy, you would expect it like, oh, well, they can buy for next. Why not try and take some of the guns away, do a bit of damage for them? But when they don't have control of those extremities, and especially because Optic are playing a composition where Victor can so quickly take space.
I like it. Yeah, I think it's the safe play when you're up 6 rounds.
feed, quick
Here's
trigger.
the A push.
Oh,
the one that I
this
was
is
talking
it.
about before from the guard. This is it coming out right here. 4-person push.
It's a quad push. And they've done it enough, but I believe the first time they pulled it out
In
this match. And this map. Yeah, they're trying to hold this one forwards, and here it is, the players. They just have the numbers advantage. The guards were able to just swarm it through, and they just leave Net to hold it low, and still has a lurk all the way through. Net just a quick swing, has the TP, but FNS is none the wiser.
Down B.
And what a play. It's such a classic. Straight from the playbook of the...
Obviously, the Reykjavik trophy once again. North America has claimed it in the past, and both of these teams are trying to contend for that championship spot, but unfortunately, they're going to have to knock the other one down to that lower bracket here today.
Yeah, in some sense, it's a brutal one for the North American fans, but at least one of the North American teams has to win, right? That's a positive for them too. But yeah, I really feel like the fans demand a contender in this tournament, someone that could win the entire thing. Let's take a look at Fracture. Optic running the same composition that looked really good for them previously, with Victor on the Neon. They never used to do this. Both of these teams used to play Raze. Now neither of them playing the Raze on this map.
And you can see a lot of space being taken. The contact comes through. They hear the door being opened. Jonah P has to play this so carefully, but does he realize so many of these players are right around the corner, and it's just spam unloading the clips in a rapid fashion, but FNS might be able to catch a brutal timing. No! Just can't find the shots. And the flash that came through, Optic were completely blind to it.
And that's a perfect flash. And Net supports with gorgeous timing, dropping down from rope, using his headhunter to catch those 2 kills. And Optic's pistol round got completely countered.
Look at this. I mean,
Everyone
all
blind. The only player that isn't is Marved, and he's not able to land the shot.
And Trent popping off.
Fired up.
Yeah.
In the meantime, by the way, something we didn't particularly highlight, Saya player and Valen pushed tree. And I was thinking a little bit about Saya player's Jet decision here. You're going to see him with an opportunity to grab an opening pick onto Ye. The desk were talking about how good these first kills were. Ye's got armor. Manages to survive that one.
Give it out all the warbang.
Sure.
Through just to make sure that he survived it,
But overall, Brent, the Jet pick has been going out of fashion on this map.
It
Most
has,
teams going towards Raze after Champions. And the Neon, I think, is cool. The Jet, I haven't seen as much success from. So this is a big question mark for me. Some of it might be because Saya player went crazy on Haven and was 23 and 8. Maybe they've called an audible. And they're just willing for him to frag out like this.
and he's got easy targets ahead of him. No armor online for anybody, but Marv's, he's not going to go down without a fight. player for him, but already all those kills going away of Sire player building up towards that Blade Storm.
But there is another strategic reason why I think you may be wanting to go towards the Jet.
Trust me.
And that is that if you want to be pushing aggressively into a team that runs Chamber, you can use your Cloudburst to smoke off the trademarks.
Let's go, boys. What do you want to do here? Let's come. All right, here.
Getting on board early, actually. There you go. What do we want to do here? What are we doing for the bonus? Let's come. Keeping things up. Keeping the motivation there.
Yeah.
Leadership figures within the guard stepping up on the first event. Right yeah, like I said, I think just keep in mind the potential flanks that Sire could go for with his Cloudburst.
Gives him so many more options. I'm glad he highlighted it, because inherently when you think about it, that direct trade, you do miss something. Okay, Jonah P. Just jump around the corner, obviously not anticipating that there's going to be such a high tempo when they took that disc control, but Optic obviously is playing it. It is beautiful for them. How is Trent being able to find those pickoffs to the Spectre from that kind of range?
What is that?
I'm not too sure. In fact, side player himself, Frenzy and Spectre in hand, he's taken out a multitude of the players, and now they've regained control of it. They're getting a bit of a pincer with the spike down, rifles to claim.
How on earth do FNS and EA claw this one back into Optic control? They had such a great opener as well, finding Jonah P over towards Dish. And the pressure really is on at FNS and Ye here. They do not want to go down again. These bonus rounds have been devastating from both teams, but at different times.
Yep.
Here.
And you can see they do have a couple of tools to use with the fault line and a flash in hand, but how do they do it? It's so much on Ye to find the value, to look for it. Quick little reset, FNS! 54 health, the spray transfer's good. It's a 1v1, him versus Net, quick tip tap, but it's not enough. Net shuts it down, and the guard take it away on their bonus.
That's a ridiculous round, and that's a crazy opener for the guard.
Oh my.
Net up 4-1, but really, the players that won that were Trent and Sire player. How is the Spectre and Frenzy favored at that range against the Vandal?
Ridiculous.
I mean, it's not. It simply isn't favored. But somehow they win the duels anyway.
Again, the cheers. The team is feeling it. Sire players feeling it.
Optic, these Thrifties have been dangerous. They've been good at being able to convert them so far. Crashies, Ye both get stunned up by the fault line over towards Tree, but there's no aggression really behind it. Sire players watch swing.
Different elevation. Victor obviously hoping a player might swing into them.
Yeah. He doesn't really have the angle there on top of the box to actually peek.
Yeah.
And Crashies stomping around underneath, looking to reconnect with Victor and maybe make some damage happen. But they're also building up these ultimates. Trent, Valin, Sire player, one orb away from getting their ults online for the next gun round. These are the problems, that snowballs that can occur. It's not just about the economy in terms of credits.
Stay down. My ult's ready.
We've got to think about the ultimates when they carry forwards into the next round. The guard are just looking to not give away any of the weapons that they've picked up along the way here. Optic with the contact play. I mean, Victor's made his way into Ness, and he is going to get the one. Ness also might be able to do a bit of work, but shut down. And know exactly where Victor is, 11 health. He's not going to be able to do too much. 4 rounds now for the guard here on Fracture. The decider that it all comes down to. Now, Josh, for all we talk about ultimates, it is...
What's the spawn side? South side of the map is where everybody from Optic's going to begin. And even though Ye has an operator, just the ults that are available here indicate that they might want to try and take A halls quickly. Yeah. This knife, if FNS does throw it, sorry, if Crashies throws it, they've changed roles, obviously. Going to catch on to Sire player and Valin, give them the info. Sire player dodged it, actually.
He does. Beautiful flash to push away that aggression on Tree, and it's a slow siege as Hall starts to get taken up now by Optic, again with the contact plays all the way deep. But do they anticipate that Net has the operator in hand and the high ground position that he's on this box? It's an angle. They don't anticipate too much, but now you see it turned up a tad. Bit of heat, a bit of pace injected into the round, especially with the null command. Crashies wants to try and lead it in for his team, but it's already off to not an ideal start with Victor falling still. Control going to be gained of Dish and Hawes. As long as Optic can hold this one down, there's still a chance in this round, especially with the ultimates.
Yeah, they have some massive ults to be able to work with. FNS Marv, both with ults that can deny you from getting the defuse online. I think you're definitely going to see them invested here. Brimmer straight off the rim.
Splits him up. Now you see the rolling thunder. It's actually used by Optic reactively to try and push them through into sand. They're coming up with the kills, despite the fact that the guard was stunned up. Valen is able to take down FNS, and now you see it being used. That's from the guard side. The rolling thunder to push the players out of halls. And the molly, it misses. The orbital strike has to be committed. Crashy's just spamming through to clip onto the diffuser. Far too much tools being used to try and stop them, and Crashy's, no one cleared them out of that spot.
And Optic, they use a lot of ultimates, but they do get the round win. And it's a good one to put onto the board. They forced out some from the guard, and they recovered that from a 4v5 situation too. Yeah, he got tagged up, but he was able to find this pick early enough that Optic kept control the entire time. And this kill from Crashies was right before Trent got half. So that completely destroys the round. Yeah,
changes completely.
There's no chance there whatsoever.
If Trent gets half, you know, with the time running that low, possibility. But
I will say, though, it was another first death from Victor, and you heard Kakuka on the desk talking about it. Victor went 1 and 5 in first kills to first deaths on Haven. That cannot happen again here. Yes, Optic recovered that one, but they won't do it. They won't do it often.
Yeah, it's going to take Victor stepping up, I think, in terms of his performance, avoiding being the first death in a lot of these engagements for them. And now Optic have slowed it down. They've just got the players holding bridge control up top. You can see making sure that they can maybe evacuate in case there's some kind of pressure being applied to them.
And it's a fairly patient hold, pretty defensive from the guard, but it's a double operator setup as well. One looking towards dish and the other looking towards stairs at tree.
And this kind of contact play that's been happening, Optic have been doing this a lot, by the way, walking into these key angles, trying to take space for free without showcasing themselves. This could be broken by the double operator setup.
That contact play gets dominated by Ops. But only if they're looking in the right direction.
And now it's a fast play. Victor's all the way up top. There's some pressure coming through. Jonapido with the punish. A 2 for 2. 3 players remaining here as Optic look to try and make their mark onto the site.
That's rough, actually.
30
it's a
seconds
perfectly timed molly from Valen. Traps everybody in B tower.
And now it buys time as well for the rotations to come through. Flash to re-clear it. Net just about whiffs the shot, but he knows. He gets information. There's a player in the corner still. Now it's the 1v1. FNS has the operator, but Trent is cool, calm, and collected, and he knows with 12 seconds remaining, time has to be played here. He does not want to be baited into FNS's swing. He's off of it. FNS has to commit it now. Aftershock to push him away. FNS knows he has to stick this one. The tag can't quite get it with the bullets in play. Fault line for fault line. Stuns coming through. Trent, a bit of an overheat, and FNS just swings into it.
The aggression from FNS was wild, and I think Trent deliberately goes for that play because FNS had an operator.
Yeah.
So he thinks, well, there's no chance he's going to be fighting me, especially if I've got the stun on him, and FNS had a Vandal just lying at his feet. The crucial difference in that 1v1 clutch. FNS has been put into 2 1v1s so far in this map already, and he manages to win that one.
And you got to give him credit. He's a player that's, you know, listen, I'm not going to beat around the bush. He's clowned on online a bit for some of his performance and some of his misplays, but
he does get the least kills for his team overall, but that is an incredibly important round.
yeah, he's been pivotal in some of these rounds, on top of the IGL.
Also the oldest player at the tournament, single-handedly dragging the average age of Optic Gaming up. The only player in our 30s
We really are
competing.
just roasting him.
No, that's not a roast. I think that's impressive, honestly, Brent.
It is impressive that he performs at the top.
I think it's astoundingly
truly is.
impressive that he's able to have had such a long career that only seems like it's just getting started in Valorant.
Yeah.
Optic are hungry for that first title.
And it's a title that they've been reaching for quite some time.
Of course.
They've come close every now and then, but this time around, a renewed focus for Optic. Still on the back foot in this match here. But hopefully, looking to try and even it up.
They're going to be walking into tour de force here from net. Looking to go for a bit of a double peek again with Victor and Crashes.
As a flash. Pop flash over the corner, and it's perfect. Still, Net just pre-fires it. He was fully blind. Couldn't see a thing, but the timing was amazing. And the guards, that Viper's Pit, that's just locking down the A Halls control for them. They knew it was leaning towards the B side. 20 seconds, and again, noise has been cut.
Saya player's been on a flank here as well, and he used the Cloudburst to be able to get past that trip, and he finds another kill. There goes FNS, taken out by a jet flank they had no idea was possible.
With the tour de force, yep, it's the slow fields placed down. Not enough time for Ye to work anything. Has to run away and take that operator.
And the guard. They're up 5-2 here. They got a great start, obviously, but that's another round where two of their players didn't even have guns. They just have amazing ultimates to work with. Net, the timing on that is fabulous. He catches another couple. But yeah, the thing that I was talking about at the beginning with Saya being able to get those flanks past the trademarks, he was aggressive out of dish that round, found the trademark at bridge, and just went straight past it.
It's down. Guns up.
Yeah, you can normally get such good passive value here from those abilities, and that's going to be more difficult. Talk about his active impact in the game as well, 2 and 5. He was monstrous on Chamber on map 1. You need that performance from Ye, and you expect it. He gives it to you almost every time.
Here it is, half buy for Optic, but again, got to respect him, especially with the ultimates popped off. Victor just running it down, tries to beam the next player, but Trent, he does get his one before eventually traded. Ultimates popped, the rolling thunder. This looks like a recontest from Optic, and they are coming up with the goods once more. So much firepower, not exactly in the weaponry, but they don't even need it. The abilities are there.
That's such a good round. We saw them pull that one out against Ursula as well. The wall allows them free entry, crashes with a flash, perfectly timed as Victor pops out. And that 1-2 punch of Victor crashes is a theme that this team has been able to rely on for the last year. And it's just looking so good when they have these preset plays. I mean, Victor, Ye, these are players you expect to be at the top of the scoreboard. They're not lighting the world up right now. But when they've got the right strategy to help empower them, that's where they really seem to come online. I need more of that, more playbook being accessed for Optic.
And those special little plays that they've got cooked up.
I will say, when I watched them play against Xerxia, I thought the playbook was good, but not particularly deep. So we need to see whether there's more to it. Victor running the same play again.
Yeah,
but
fast lane as well.
he's probably still going to find some success. There's nobody anchoring the site for the guard.
Vance Molly does a bit of work there to try and split the players up. So high player pushed around the corner, just has to hold down Nest from Arcade, but worried about that combined pressure that could have come straight from that bridge side. It is going to be the spike down. The aftershock is a little bit delayed, but actually, maybe not. The perfect timing of it. They spam as it comes through, giving them nowhere to run. Messiah players left wondering, just watching the top of Nest, and the players from Optic once more finding value, finding the pickoffs that the team needs. Up top here into Nest. Double swing, Victor taken care of, but again, Marved impeccable with the timing, straight at the top of Nest. Able to follow it up.
This strat is working. I don't think you necessarily need to shift away from it. The same entry manages to find success, and then the post-plan positions are gorgeous. Victor tucks himself into this corner, really common position to be fighting from, and Ye is controlling tree the whole time too. So he's got that sight line, the crossfire, the entire time. He knows the meta at the moment in Fracture feels very much trying to deny the plant going down. Yeah. Maybe more so when you're running arrays, which neither of these teams are. But Crashy's ultimate, the Null Command, is going to be so good at that, just stopping all of the utility coming through. Extremely high value ultimate for Fracture, I think.
Look at this. Echoes of the Haven play that the guard love to do with the quad push, but this time through Arcade. Yeah, he's just sipping out of there, man. He wants nothing to do with it. I don't blame him. Power in numbers, but
look at Victor.
Victor might just get sandwiched here at Dish. Has to use the fast lane to escape, and there's a fight underneath. Doubled up. Victor needs to try and survive. FNS trying to collapse onto it. The swing timing. It is a disaster right now. Yay. Will jiggle around. It's going to be the wallbang. Whips out the headhunter. The double up position. They're finding all the pickups. This half buy. That did not go the way that Optic planned.
That's just absurd. Another thrifty in this match. And it doesn't feel like Optic made the right decisions there at all. Ye stuck around for a huge amount of time, and Victor continued pushing forwards rather than evacuating with the rest of his team. Yeah. Then you've got just a single player of Marv alone in the tunnel. They weren't ready for the pathing around the map from the guard at all. Completely caught with their pants down at every moment there in that round. Optic kind of throwing away a big chance of being able to even the score.
They're going for it again. Trying to take that tree control. It's an aftershock. This is a counterplay, I think, from the guard. They realize that That's pretty critical. This is their attempt of it, at least, to try and disrupt the hold that they might have on it. But there's the fast lane pushing forwards.
But that molly is way too slow to stop Victor.
Yeah, he's already in, but is that really the goal for them? They just want to try and disrupt them at the choke point. FNS left alive, a quick swing, and he crouches. It's perfect still. Yay falls. And now FNS 1v2. Doesn't have the spike. He's just legging it, man.
Yeah, he's
Does he
off.
realize?
I'm not
Maybe
sure.
a bit of a noise bait as well, running and cutting it.
Yeah, possibly trying to bait noise, but I think for the guard, you just hold the spike here. It's not a complex decision tree. You just hold the spike.
And they've
Jonah P's watching the other side in case he went under tunnel and could backstab them. But I don't think FNS is going to be able to sell the fact that he's gone all the way through through defender's spawn. I just don't think that's a reasonable consideration. Peeks into the operator, and Sire Play has been posted the entire time. What a good counter to Optic's B execute.
Yeah, they disrupted before they can even set it up.
Yeah, they disrupted them at the choke point. But what was crucial about this too is that Victor went down. And Victor's the real player that could still make something happen. And Trent had to swing a full 90 degrees to deal with the Neon there. If Victor gets that kill, the round starts to open back up for Optic. But Victor on his own couldn't do enough, with the rest of his team just separated in the choke. And it seems like that timeout really did give the guard, again, more tools to work with. These timeouts have just been impeccable.
Rare miss from Ye.
From both.
Aye, exactly. And this is the final round of the half. I think Optic obviously would love to try and make a mark, bring it up to 7-5, because that at least has you feeling relatively good going into it, into the second half of this map here.
Is Trent holding this ult for the door noise or off Sire player's contact? I'm not sure. The spike is still just left in spawn. Optic haven't picked a side yet. They're again going for a bit of a contact look. Watching, hoping for a pick.
There's no setup here. I mean, oh my word, the timing on that. Ye just held it for a second longer. He's worried about the top nest. And Jonah P has looked all the way through bridge. Footsteps heard though, and yeah, Ye, he just pre-fires it. Or at least holds the angle. It sets it up nicely for that pickoff.
In the meantime as well, Trent has lost information towards Sand. The door was opened, but he doesn't know whether Sand has been taken by Optic right now. So it has to fall back into a more passive position with his Rolling Thunder.
It's being swarmed though. I think the plan might be Rolling Thunder for Rolling Thunder. Null command there, swinging round. Sire player, just the operator. But it might be the only thing he needs. He can't dash. Not with that null command in play. And all the pressure on Victor to see if he can make some magic happen. But not right now. 8-4 at the half.
That's an insanely good half for the guard. There were moments, of course, where it looked dangerous, but Optic never really got themselves into a position to win. And Optic have been struggling in this tournament, I feel, with operator players, and Sire's just been so dangerous in the last two maps.
Yeah.
There is a reason that Optic banned Fracture in the finals in North America against the...
Right back into it. Optic down and out. Not just yet, though. It's
down
only in the round score, only in the round score. And this is, you know, they're no strangers to being able to make comebacks in the past. There's a lot of experience on this roster. The guard are so quick now to take that space and top dish on their attack side. Net just wants to hold it down in halls.
What does the defensive protocol look like here for Optic? Do they try and flush out the player, Net, who's going to be coming from halls?
They're holding it.
Yeah, I'd like to see some aggression over there, actually. FNS is watching, doesn't really have a teammate to play on.
And he's used all of his bullets. Still the swing comes through, but it's the guard who come up huge.
Crazy messy, super labored on all sides.
So messy to flash as well. Side player with the movement, the updraft around the side, and now it's up to Ye. 1v4. Can he really do this? Surely not, but we've seen it in the past. He's just that kind of player. The quality is there. Aftershock in the corner, he taps it, pulls it out, but they know his positioning. Swinging through, there's one, there's two! Oh my! And Jonah P, he's low. Snakebite, holds the angle.
3 HP.
Ice goal for him, 1 HP. Body blocks the snakebite, but not enough for them. The damage was already done, and it's a pistol round win for the guard.
They had some speed on that as they sprinted their way through Dish. And Optic had a really messy fight over towards Sand there. And it wasn't clean from the guard either. They should have dealt with FNS way earlier. But the guard will be happy about that one.
No! Go! Push in! Might have whiffed a little bit.
I don't know who that was. Maya whiffed a little bit, but
All good.
they got around.
All good.
That's what matters.
Optic. I feel like this might be one of those rounds where you decide to go for a force buy, but
Yeah.
not the decision they've made here. They're missing a couple of those martial shots. Pretty rare that you see somebody hold that angle, but he was anticipating the tree aggression.
But instantaneously, I mean, he sees at least 2 players, I believe, there, so the call is made to just take the horse control.
Yeah, it's a great reactive push.
Yeah. And it's going to be Optic forced to play that retake.
We've seen Optic get dismantled on Fracture before, actually. Not with this composition, but previously in North America. And one of the reasons being that they became a bit easy to read, I think.
Sure.
And if the guard are really trying to play a reactive style, use early round information to dictate it, that might end up being the key.
One enemy remaining.
That's the Brim Molly to split up the sides. Nets. Nice swing there, and yeah.
Sire
That
player just
reactive
keeps
play.
farming.
Yeah, Sire player farming. He's building up to the Blade Storm. It's 10-4. Heading into this next one, Optic can finally get some of those rifles to potentially turn the tide of this map, but so far, the guard are coming in with that preparation that we know and love from them.
One enemy remaining.
Think about the series overall. They were slow to start on Ice
Brown will potentially get that comeback underway.
For Optic, a lot of this, I think, is going to be down to finding those first picks. And some of that will be defensive set plays with Victor, but a lot of it's going to be on Ye with his tour de force or his operator. He's currently watching over towards Dish. He's got the perfect read on where the guard are coming from.
He's going to get a nasty sightline here as well. Assuming nothing gets covered, yeah, they just walk right into it. You don't expect players to be playing on top of that box.
And that spawned a slow field as well, so it's a little more difficult for guard to get into position.
But they don't cancel the hit. They're actually just going to be continuing straight into it.
What a push!
Yeah, he's gone, removed. And yep, the orb in hand pops it straight back into the spawn. Spike starts to get planted.
And there's this position by Jonah.
Jonah P swings out. It wasn't really supplemented with too much utility. He just wanted to try and catch the timing.
But it's a great thing to go for that kind of stuff on your bonus round.
Yeah,
getting into a position where the Spectre is favored, arguably.
Right now it looks like Optic are looking to do that fast re-clear of Hors. I like this. Disrupt the hold that the guard have got, but now they're going to be pushing forwards again. They actually know they're taking Hors. They're taking their spawn. Moving around, Sire player is left alone to his own devices up top, and it's on him to at least get a couple of bits and pieces, some damage, some kills. Shut down in the end. Optic, obviously with the better guns, they're able to find those trades and the kills easily enough.
It's always difficult to have a comeback like this. 6 rounds down. 10-4 was the score. But the only way to get a comeback going is 1 round at a time. That's what Optic are doing right now, just focusing on making correct decisions for the round in question. FNS has actually been getting some really useful kills for his team. 11 and 12, top fragging right now. You really expect to see people like Ye or Victor up there if they're having great games.
Yeah.
But FNS is putting in work when his team needs it the most. He's buying time, perhaps, for these other big hitters on his team to come online.
Get out of my way.
You need that. This team really seems to live or die by whether Victor is playing at the top level, and he just isn't having the same impact that we saw from him in the game against Xerxia, where they were totally in control of the tempo.
That's difficult for him when he's playing against a guy and a former Sire player. Knives in hand, I believe 19 kills to his name, pushes forward, there's a stun, and he's just broken his ankles.
What an outplay!
Worked in the neutral. And now moving forwards, Net tries to swing at the rest of his team. Now it's just going straight through. Orbital strike splits up the side, but the timing as they push through. That's quite fantastic. Marv staying alive, 75 HP, 4 kills. Potentially the ace to try and close it. That is immense.
What an astounding round by Marv. That's the kind of stuff that he was pulling out for us in their most recent match. And we've seen hints of it perhaps, but no level of consistency in the last couple of maps. They need moments like that.
Those are the kind of plays that Optic relish as well. When they're down a couple of rounds, as soon as one of their players is able to have these monumentous moments like Marv here. I mean, what a massive play to make as well, deciding to commit the orbital strike, split the players up, the crosshair placement as well.
It's so good.
And to close it out against Sire player when he's been dominating this map. That is what they need to get back on the board.
That's going to put guard back down onto an eco. Jonah P with a hero rifle. Only 600 credits to his name.
Flash over the top. Updraft inside player. Oh, he's completely blinded. Backs through. Optic just pushing forwards. That's going to be a flash now all the way through it. And on this half by God, we're hoping to do a bit of damage. Maybe get the plant down. Build up that money. Optic, a clean shutdown for them. Not everybody survives, but enough for them that they can keep building up the bankroll, building up the weaponry, and maybe potentially keep that momentum moving in their direction to equalize in this map.
One of the goals here for the Guard in their attack is going to be to get Jonah P into a site so he can deploy his Viper's Pit. It's going to give them a massive advantage in the post plant. And for Optic, I think you want to be trying to fight them at the chokes, deny them from getting into position to use those ultimates. FNS has a Rolling Thunder here that I could see being used fairly early, holding a fault line for Victor to push a little in halls.
Full flash as well. Victor's pushed off the angle here, but FNS is ready. He's anticipating a bit of aggression coming through sand. That flash is going to push him all the way into spawn. And Victor, you got to get out of there, fam.
What a play by FNS though. He uses the Rolling Thunder over towards sand, tosses Sire player up in the air, and plucks him out of the sky. Yep. Great play by FNS. He's got three in the round. He's coming alive.
Shut down eventually by Jonah P. Victor though, potentially going to put in some of that work, and he holds it as well for the swing. It comes through. FNS again coming up huge for his team when he needs it. He's not known as a high numbers player, but in so many of these rounds, he's been keeping Optic in it.
It's a spectacular performance, an amazing decision-making in that moment, getting all of the pressure from sand, and he chooses to commit it at the perfect time to eye. Level of disruption's really important, but now
so key.
Those big ultimates are, broadly speaking, off the table for Optic. They've still got the null command, but Crashies doesn't look like he's going to be involved in the action too much because the Guard are starting towards Hawks. Yeah.
This round should be an opportunity to potentially build up some of those ultimates, but
what a fast dash.
Yeah.
Neck can hear these rotates.
Smoke's down.
I think they're just playing the numbers right now against this half buy.
Yeah, they were considering going over to A, but without any further noise, spreading out around the map once more.
Complete cut in terms of noise. And net. Oh, see, he whiffs the shot. Yeah, he wasn't even watching the angle, but a quick little flick, and he finds out what's through the smoke.
Down B.
Okay.
It's not fair for a player this good to also be that lucky. That's not fair.
I mean, you call it luck. That is instinct.
I mean, that's incredible.
It's instinct, man.
Instinct and timing. There's a reason why the best players look like the luckiest as well. It's because they just have a read on the game.
Yeah. It was difficult before on the half buy. It's going to be more so now. Snakebite does get that vulnerability applied to Marv, but Victor comes in clutch there with the trade. Tire player looks to catch the timing. The reset of the aim. He does get two. Now Trent, this is winnable. Ult in hand, the Rolling Thunder, but he doesn't anticipate it. Victor plays that so quick.
Yeah, Victor just challenged him instantly, getting that confidence flowing, going for the 1v1. Obviously has better weaponry and feels confident to finish the fight early before it gets into sticky territory. Optic are able to defeat the Guard in this round. The economy's going to be in a bit of a wonky position. That flash really deep towards tree might give them an idea that somebody's pushing, but in fact, the aggression is only really towards A halls.
Victor taking a forward position actually of some sort of information. Crashies, he sends out a knife. He's looking for a tag just to give his team something to work with.
And the Guard use that moment to press up, trying to give bad information to Optic, and here they come.
Wow, that's a fast hit. Rolling Thunder to try and squeeze them. Crashies, pop flash round the corner, but shut down. Jonah P holding down the choke. Inside the smoke, Trent on 30 health. He realizes he could get spammed out there.
Look
Victor though, he's moved all the way around, and he needs to be finished. There it is. Net, he whips it. He will shut it down. The Guard with 4 players up now, just 2 remaining, and Marv falling. FNS once more. The responsibility of trying to close this one out on his shoulders, but 1v4, too much to ask, I think, for him. He's going to try and make it work, it looks like, despite the fact that, maybe thinking, should I save this one, but God might change everything.
The time is ticking throughout all of this too. The spike at this point just getting closer and closer. Despite the fact that Sire players flashed up, they're just not able to do it. Brent, that single round feels a bit like a metaphor for the entire game to me. Both Victor and Ye were in position to make massive impact happen, and both of them got shut down. Victor on the flank, gets a kill, could open the entire retake back up, and gets traded out. Ye pushes himself into position and just can't make the magic happen that he was able to do in map 1. These people at the front of the pack for Optic, the classic, I guess, duelist duo, even though Ye's on chamber, just not able to find those magical moments that they've often produced.
And finally, Optic stopped in their tracks, but they're looking to regain the tide of the battle. Net going down there, the jiggle peak. I mean, they just had such a small angle to try and find that one, but the guard not messing around. A flash coming through, and a very interesting Viper's Pit just cuts across, actually, straight into Generator. The Rolling Thunder to push them back. Players still trying to work their way into position. Yay! Cannot get the kill. Sire player looking for more, swinging straight into main. He already found 2 for his team, but maybe getting a bit overzealous.
The plant still hasn't got down here, actually. Jonapi's used his Viper's Pit to cut off that Generator area, but it doesn't give them any safe refuge on site. Victor's worked his way all the way in.
He needs to survive. He needs to survive in his Viper's Pit for any sort of chance. Working his way around, Victor. His health is just ticking down. You see the molly coming through, the swing timing, the stun. It's all there. One more flash available. It's a nice dodge from Victor, and the coverage in the pit as well. They knew that Jonap was going to swing off of it.
How does Victor avoid that one?
I mean, he almost broke his wrist, I feel like, snapping that.
Yeah, he snapped away from the flash and was able to swing back before Trent could collect. And Optic are back in it. They're keeping this gap tight at a single round. This time, Victor really does make the difference.
It makes a huge difference.
The stun, too, is lovely to be able to isolate Valen. Look at what a dodge.
Yeah.
That's so good. I feel like Jonapi's ultimate, he held it for so long, so many rounds where it could have been invested, and he chose to pick the perfect opportunity, and it actually didn't really have that much value in the round.
It didn't matter. Optic,
Here.
right back into it. Money is low for the guard. And when it gets down like this, 11-10, it's the smallest of things that can change the outcome of the map. So much on the line here. Sire player, quick little dodge to the left there. The flash in play comes through, tries to go for it, but look at that. The swing from the Optic players. Marv, Victor, FNS, it all comes together.
And they crushed that push. No possibility whatsoever for the guard to get through A halls there. This game is going to get tied up at 11-11. OT, an absolute possibility. The guard were 10-4 up in this match.
They found my trap.
10-4.
This has been an unbelievable comeback. In the grand finals in North America, it was the guard that had the comeback. 4-8 down on Haven, with Sire player 1v3ing the final round as things got towards round 24. This has been even more impressive. Even more impressive. And this setup just works so nicely.
Oh, I love that.
Victor with such a wide swing sets up and breaks the crosshair placement even on the players that aren't flashed from FNS. That's a gorgeous little play.
And it works out so nicely for them. And now the money that I keep bringing up, but this time 11-11 in the scoreline. The smallest of margins that can affect us now moving into it. And it's the guard who aren't really working with.
You want to play? Let's play.
These thrifty rounds, though, have been so dangerous in this match so far. Both teams able to pick them up at wild times. And Crashies, what a push against the eco. I mean, Crashies is so isolated if they find him down there.
But Ye holds down to one angle. Sire player! The timing. Looks like a kill. Ye misses it. Swing for the movement. Okay, he was able to hop out of there, but Net was covering it when he was trying to retreat.
And Crashies, I think, was supposed to be giving them information from his position in tunnel.
No.
And that's what I'm talking about. What a play to do on an eco round. He can't help the rest of his squad. And this is 4-3 in favor of the guard.
And for this to happen again, Marv, he's got the orbital strike to disrupt this. A minute on the clock. All the players up in there. The orbital strike. It's perfect. The players are caught. Marv gets the one as Trent was weakened, and now the 2v3 with the ultimates to turn it. It was looking dire for Optic. Regaining control. Jonah might be able to do something about that, though. Net tour de force. He knows as a player at Generator. Victor, not making any noise, just walking.
They know roughly where Victor is. The problem
30
is that
seconds
spike
left.
is just
One enemy remaining.
And Victor finds the perfect timing onto Jonah P. It's all in Net's hands here. But this would be
And it just
a monumental task.
Waiting for the spike plant, I think. And then they're going to re-peek with something. I mean, Eris doesn't have a stun or utility.
But there's only 20 seconds.
Yeah.
They're worried about a fake, but now that the spike's actually planted,
And
here
it gives
comes
them
the
time for the stun. They got to know where he is, yeah. Spam comes through. Victor with 4 kills when it was really not going their way at all, but they shut down that half-buy threat.
And that was a serious threat. Champions music.
Yeah, you should get it.
Not bad. I mean, that's, at the end of the day, that's what all of these teams are fighting for in the grand scheme of things too, right? Representing North America on the big stages. Victor having a massive impact, but also this ultimate was perfectly timed by Marv.
30 seconds left.
And we were talking
Enemy ripped.
about Victor needing to step up, and that being the difference maker for Optic. He shot to the top of the scoreboard for his team. 19 kills, 16 deaths.
Yeah, astounding improvement actually, and it's in the last 2 rounds. I don't think he was actually credited for any of the kills in that A Halls play, but the swing, the slide was what set up the rest of his team to do it.
Crosshair placement.
And here he looks like he's pushing Dish again. Can he be the difference maker? Can Optic close it out?
This could be it. Optic would love to finish it here. Boy taking it to that OT. The guard. The patient play, obviously exchanging fire. A little jiggle peek there with the added movement. But it is just the waiting game. Marv is in such a one-and-done angle. I feel like this is potentially incredibly risky if the guard end up using utility to just clear through deep in Dish here, but they are just waiting for now.
There's no real
I think
flash.
the contact in.
Yeah.
Enemy down.
Great trade from Valen. That's what you need to be able to open up Dish. But now the question becomes, with a minute on the clock, do you commit to this? Do you still want to go for an A split? They are cutting noise, freezing the round completely. These defenders from Optic, as you saw Victor sprint over, but now he's unsure.
Yeah. Waiting it out. A reminder, Jonah P, he's got his Viper wall over towards B, potentially still pulling those plays over. Stun. The orb as well, bit of a swoop peek, orbital strike to push the player into the back of the side. Victor! He finds Jonah P, and none of the players have managed to even get onto the side to collapse onto it. Is this how it happens? The guard, moments away, now to 2v3. 25 seconds left. They're just trying to squeeze it out. Valen, the third for him, swings through. FNS into the back. He's so low, but he drops down. Valen is finding the fire rate, and the swing again is there.